So I have a background in data and AI. I worked at Royal Caribbean and Johnson & Johnson, and when I came on with CJB Industries, I had a really neat opportunity to bring that to chemical manufacturing. So why? Well, it's buzzy and people want to hear it. It fills a room, right? Of course, that's not reason enough to invest a lot of money and capital and time and effort to start using something just because it's trendy. So it needs to make sense for our customers, it needs to make sense for us, and we need to be able to actually implement it. So why do data and AI actually make sense in a manufacturing setting? Well, it will lower our risk, it will increase our transparency to our customers, it will give us faster response time to our customers, it will improve the repeatability of our results, and it will improve the product status visibility. Okay, all of that sounds great, it's really lofty, there's not a lot of detail there, right? So we're going to use the next slides to kind of give the big picture. We got started on this effort about 3.5 years ago. What we've done since then, what we're piloting now, and then how we're going to build on that and what we're going to do in the future because of all of these foundations we've put in place. So this gives an overview of the path that we've started, that we're working on, that we envision. So 3.5 years ago, we set up a data historian and an Internet of Things and a secure network. So what does that really mean? It means that we took long black cables that people call fiber and Cat6 and Ethernet. We set up a firewall, a secure network, and a database. We ran all of those wires to all of our equipment, so we have our tank scale data, our mill pressure, our mill temperature, how many jugs are coming across the line. We're doing that with photo eyes, things like that. We've set up our Internet of Things. And then we started collecting that data. And we still collect that data, and we use that data to do analysis and make data-led decisions. So now every day, we look at those tanks, we look at their weights, we look at what happened across shifts, and then we make improved decisions using that information. So now, we're able to build on that data and have digitalized work instructions. So we're piloting that. You'll get to see a video in a minute at a few of our locations. And that means that instead of using pen and paper and reading various technical documents, we're able to see one step of the operation at a time and then record all of that data. So we know when something was charged, how much it really weighed on the tank scale, and then we're able to use that information to then improve our scheduling, improve our quality, and then we're going to tie all that back into our ERP system. So we know we use 500 pounds of this active, we know that right away, and then that's immediately put into our ERP system, which is then verified by people after the fact. In conjunction with that, we're doing an AI material verification. You'll see a video of that, so whenever the material arrives on site, we have our shipping and receiving team take a photo of that chemical ingredient. It will record the lot number and verify that it is, in fact, the material that is meant to be on hand before it ever gets anywhere near our tanks. Then, when it gets to the tanks, we're doing another verification before we charge. Before that digital back sheet will even give you the next step. And from there, we'll do tailored customer updates. The end goal is to de-risk. And then we'll use the data on the mills and the tanks and the timing to improve our scheduling so that our customers can receive product quicker and more efficiently. We can increase the capacity of our tanks without having to increase the number of people that we hire to use them. So to kind of summarize, we're historizing data. We've got sensors on all of our equipment. We've been doing real-time analysis and visualization, and now we're using that to optimize our manufacturing process, which will then collect more data, and the cycle will continue. So this gets a little more into the detail. You can see the sensor integration that we've put in place for our mills, our tanks, our product flow, our jug counts, our SPC data, so our fill weights. And then we will see a video of what we're doing now in pilot with the digital back sheets. So this is at our CW location, Cypress Street Warehouse. This is our operator at the staging part of the process, confirming that the material is in fact what is required by the digital batch sheet. It was confirmed, so he's bringing it over to our operator at the top of the tank, who's able to use this tablet in full PPE and confirm that that material is correct. And then you only saw it for just a second. I'm going to show you some screenshots of that later. But he's able to see on the plant floor. We're able to see at any location, and the operations manager is able to see on his phone or at his desk what all of the tank levels are, what step in the process we're at, and what that's trended at over time. If they want to dig even deeper, they can pull up the full history of that product and then overlay that data so that they can see how we've run over time with that specific product on that same system or on different systems. So here's an example of pressure monitoring on a mill and what that would look like in our system. All of these dashboards are customizable, so if the data is there, then we can build on a different dashboard. We have somebody in-house who's specialized in doing that, but all employees have access to be able to create their own dashboards for what they need. Here's an example of temperature monitoring. It can be done on our mills and on our tanks. This is our fill weight tracking over time. You can have a text alert that says that the tank has been empty for a certain amount of hours. And those can be sent to operators, operation managers, etc. via text message or email. So we wanted to make sure that we're getting the right feedback in terms of quality in our lab data. So at the same time that we set up all of these sensors, in the lab we set up a standardized way to record all of the required specifications. A nice benefit of this is if something's entered out of spec, that block turns red. Lab tech knows right away that that's not going to pass spec. They need to rerun or they need to send the sample back to production. And then you'll be able to see a video of how easy that data is entered in our lab here. This is in our new lab facility at Go Harbin, so if you haven't come to see it yet, it's very nice. So that's our system. It's entered in almost just like an Excel sheet. This is the example of it shipping and receiving, where we're able to verify the materials as soon as they come on the plant floor, so that if that incorrect material arrived, we know before we ever even start processing that material at our tanks. So the earlier we know, the earlier we can notify a customer, get the right product coming to reduce any kind of delays. This is again about the inventory integration, which we talked about. So tying it in with our ERP system so that we have additional verification on materials on hand. We still do physical end of runs. So all this feeds each other. Since we started this data 3.5 years ago, and we've continued to collect this data, we're able to build on that foundation, collect more data, and then use that data to improve our scheduling, collect more data, and it will just continue to evolve over time.